My garden is getting annihilated by slugs. It's gotten to the point where some things I can't even grow in here right now. Even plants that are supposed to repel slugs are getting eaten by slugs. I've picked slugs off sage. Pretty much nothing eats sage. These artichokes, I just had to take this big leaf off here because the slugs like to come in here and nibble at the stem and make it hollow so the leaf dies. Now, artichokes are very thick. They have kind of furry leaves. Not something that slugs would normally eat. Basically, the only plants in my garden that are safe from slugs are the mature audience plants, tomatoes, nasturtium, chives, and chamomile. They love the tarragon. What doesn't kill you will make you stronger, but at some point, the battle's gonna get lost if these slugs get out of hand. They've been nice enough to leave me a few plants, but then you got guys like this that are pretty much shot. They're way behind, still trying to grow, but not doing that great. I could deal with losing a few plants because I do hundreds of starts, even though it's aggravating. But the major issue I found is I cannot direct sow seeds, like cucumbers. As soon as my cucumbers break the surface, I come back the next day, they're gone. Sunflowers, beans, all it takes is one slug to eat that whole entire plant. That's a big problem. I don't have any cucumbers growing in my garden right now, and I've already planted 2 rounds of seeds, all eaten. So I decided, guess I'm gonna have to start my cucumbers in trays then and transplant them when they get a little bit bigger. The slugs even found their way inside this tote and were nibbling away at my cucumber seedlings. Luckily not as bad in there. We're still gonna get some cucumbers out of there, and I did start about another 24 plants inside the house. But I needed to tackle the slug problem, and I've tried different methods. As you guys know, I don't use any pesticides, not even the ones listed as organic. We don't want to harm any other wildlife. First thing I tried was hand picking all the slugs. After 1,000 slugs or so, and you go around the garden and you collect all the slugs and you go back to where you started, and there's 20 more slugs right where you started, you can never keep up with that. I just had tubs and tubs of slugs, and I was just feeding them to the chickens. We've attracted a lot of birds to the garden. They come in here, they eat the slugs, but they cannot keep up. So I'm still hand picking slugs, but I did find a better way. It's a very common, conventional way called the beer trap, but I found a problem with beer traps. Problem number 1 with the beer trap is people design it so the slugs go on the surface and they fall into the beer and drown. But after catching a bunch of slugs, I found slugs can pretty much climb anything. So instead of doing something where other bugs can fall in, I just cut the bottom off a plastic jug and filled it with beer. And these worked really great. But I did find a problem with this design also. So when it rains, you get a bunch of rain in here. And turns out raccoons are alcoholics and love beer. So the raccoons would come in here, drink all my beer, knock these over. Just wasn't working great. So a couple days ago, I came up with a new design for the beer trap, which I think will keep water out from the rain. And I know it does because we tested it out during some rain. I haven't had any raccoons trying to drink my beer. Keeps all the other good bugs out. We don't want drowning in the beer. It's very effective. So we got similar designs, slight changes here. This is just a clear gallon water jug, and right there I cut a wide opening so the slugs can climb up the jug, go inside, drink the beer, and drown. And you can see there we got a decent haul of slugs in there. So they got in there, no other bugs are in there. Works really good. Now I made some of these jugs with the opening a little bit higher up. I wanted to see how high I could make the opening and still have slugs go in there. The slugs were taking a break from decimating all my plants and peppers here to go over to this slug trap. This one's a lot higher up. We got A lot of slugs in there. Now, I don't think I need to do a demonstration on how to make something like this. You could take pretty much any container. If you wanted to get wild, you could take a 5-gallon bucket, make some slots in the side so you can really load her up with beer, never have to dump the thing out, because the slugs don't mind the dead slugs in there, and they don't mind the beer getting rotten. So any vessel you got, cut a slit in there for these slugs to climb the side, put some beer in there. I like something with a cap so the rain can't get in there, and then the raccoons can't get in there and drink the beer. But let's talk about how to use this now. Because I found out that although this catches a lot of slugs, and the slugs prefer the beer, they're still going to go after your other plants. So with all the morning dew out this morning, and the slugs still active from last night, I checked all my beer traps out here, and decided to see if all the slugs were going to the beer, or if they were also targeting my plants in this area. And every jug I checked, I found out that these guys here cover about a 3-foot radius around them. So for example, I have one of my jugs set out here, absolutely decimated the slugs, and it drew in all these slugs from here to about 3 foot over. So in a 3-foot circle, none of these plants had slugs on them. But then you move out of there, I still had slugs on all these plants this morning. So I'm going to have to add more of these. I have a bunch of these laying around, and these can last for generations. Put some of these modified traps in your garden. If it works for me in here in this slug paradise, it'll work for you. Thanks for watching.